Good afternoon. Welcome, bienvenue, and willkommen. My name is Kelly Lamb. I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at Miele, and we want to welcome you to our home. All of you are at home, safe with your families during these very unique times that we're all facing. But we want to ensure that we were here to answer questions that you may have. Many of you have continued to contact us about questions you have related to products you already have in your home, and some of you are interested in buying new products from us. With Miele Live, we hope to answer all the questions for you. In the past 7 weeks, we've covered topics from showing you how to get the best cleaning performance out of your Miele dishwasher. Earlier, we showed you how to take care of very delicate fabrics in your Miele laundry care machines. And today, we're going to be doing a bit of cooking. Bonjour. Pour ceux d'entre vous qui ont demandé d'avoir des sessions en français, on va avoir des sessions dans les semaines qui viennent. Miele Live is completely interactive. If you're watching us through YouTube, be sure to log in with your YouTube account, and you can leave your questions in the comment section. For those of you that are watching on Miele Live, be sure to register with us, and then go ahead and ask your questions in the comment section there. This week, we've been celebrating Mother's Day. We've been sharing ideas with you about how to help mom at home. But actually this afternoon, we're going to share with you some ideas on how to prepare a homemade gift for mom. So this afternoon, we have our chef and product expert, Marilyn, with us. Hi, Marilyn.
Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Marilyn, today, as all of us will be celebrating Mother's Day at home or virtually, if we're not living with our mothers and grandmothers, we thought a perfect gift is to make something for mom.
Right, exactly. And things that are easy that the kids can actually make with, dads at home, just a surprise for mom for Mother's Day, or any time that you're celebrating with any of these treats that we're making.
Perfect. So maybe you want to talk about the 3 items
Sure.
outline that we're actually doing today.
Yep, be great. So we're going to be making a mixed berry galette. And I'm also going to be making, just showing how we take a box cake and enhance it a little bit, and then putting it into a DGC combi steam oven, and actually adding some steam in there. So, because a lot of times when we take a box cake recipe, it could be a little bit dry, so people put some pudding in there, but with the moisture that we're going to add in there, you wouldn't need to do that. And then also, there are some vegans out there, so we're going to be making a vegan meringue with some fresh berries.
Great. So I'm actually quite nervous for this section because you want me to bake, and
Yes.
I'm not a baker by any means.
Oh.
So you're going to have to guide me along.
I will. I'll guide you along with it.
So I think you're having me make the fresh berry galette.
Yes,
Correct?
I am.
So we have some puff pastry that we're using store-bought.
Yes.
But easily as well, if you really want to go through the ability to make it at home, you can.
Right.
But for me, definitely store-bought's a lot easier. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I can replicate this at home then.
Okay.
Marilyn, where do I start?
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the raspberry jam that I made last week.
Okay.
And we're going to loosen that a little bit in the microwave. So just if you can let me know because when we set up everything, it may have hardened a little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine. Okay,
yeah.
so we're going to add to that 4 teaspoons of cornstarch.
Okay.
And then we're going to add also 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now you can add a little bit less if you want to. That's fine. And then we're going to mix that all together in there. Did you add the sugar?
Nope, not yet. That's what I was.
Okay, just the 1 sugar, that one there. Yes. Okay, so we're just going to incorporate that into the jam.
Okay.
So what the cornstarch does actually, it's like a binding agent as well, and it's going to thicken because as the fruits heat up, they will release its own juices.
Okay.
So we don't want it to be too watery or anything. So once you've done that, it looks good from there. Yes. We are going to add all your fruits in there. So we have some raspberries, half a cup of raspberries.
Okay.
And then blueberries, so 3/4 of a cup of blueberries.
Okay.
Half
Blackberries.
a cup of, blackberries. And then 3/4 of a cup of chopped strawberries.
Perfect. Just going to get that in.
So we're just going to
Mix that
together, just gently with folding it in. See, this is going well, very well so far. Yes. And then now what you're going to do, Kelly, is you're going to bring the pastry over.
Okay. I'm just going to wipe down the board here a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and you're going to put this mixture in the middle of the pastry, and then you're going to spread it out, but you're going to leave about 1.5 inches on the edges because you want to crimp it over. So a galette is French, really, it means free form, so we're not having to worry about being precise with how the folding will be. So this is why I chose this for you, Kelly, because
Thanks.
so that you didn't have to worry or fuss about this. So once you put it in, just spread that on the pastry a little bit. So spread it out. Because remember, it's about 1.5 inches even on this side, so I would bring it down a little bit.
Okay, so we can bring it down, okay.
Yeah, and on the other side. Because ideally what you want, when you crimp the edges up, you don't want them too thick, otherwise it'll take longer to cook.
Okay.
Right, so, all right, so this is the part now that we're going to do. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pull the edges up, and then you're going to crimp as you put it together, and then fold it onto the fruit if you can.
Okay.
Like that. Yep, doing good.
And if we weren't social distancing, I'd ask you to come closer to help, but that's okay.
It's fine, it'll be good.
Thank God it's free form.
Yes. Exactly, so which is good. And remember, sometimes the longer that the pastry is out, it'll get very soft. So it may be a little bit difficult as well to handle, but you're doing well.
Just sticking a bit there, but it's okay.
That's good. Okay,
Fold that in.
halfway done, almost 3/4 of the way done. So this will be a good project for you to do with the girls, actually.
Oh, I know.
And they may want to do the crimping.
Yeah, I'm going to let them do it because, you know.
Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, and then just crimp along that edge there as you go down. I should say to your wife at home, don't laugh.
Who is the baker in the family?
Who's the baker, exactly.
Who is the baker?
All right, that looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 tablespoon of the turbinado sugar.
Okay.
And we're going to sprinkle it on the pastry part of it, because that will, once it starts cooking, it'll give it a nice golden color as well.
Okay.
So just sprinkle that. And if you want to use less, that's fine as well, but it'll be nice. All right.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Yep.
So that's it, really, so far now. So now we're just going to put this into our oven.
Okay.
So I've chosen the M-Touch, the other one there, the M-Touch oven. So we'll just place it on tray level 2.
Yep, it's on tray level 2.
Yep.
I'm going to turn the oven on.
Yes. And you're going to go to operating modes.
Okay.
And you'll go to moisture plus, so just scroll over.
So we're going to add some moisture into this baking process.
Right. And you're going to set the oven to 375.
75.
And then for about 38 minutes, 38 minutes.
Oops.
And then you say okay, so once you've set the time.
Yep. Going to 35.
Perfect, and say okay. Now we want moisture in there, so let's do 2 bursts of steam.
And do I choose automatic bursts of steam, Marilyn, or do I choose the one that says 2 bursts of steam?
Just choose the one that says 2 bursts of steam, and then a window will pop up and it'll say manual or automatic, I believe.
Or time control.
Or time control, that's the one you're going to press, time control. And let's say the first burst, we want it to go in at about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And what you'll notice is that the second little window there, it's going to calculate that automatically. So after 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, so at 10 minutes it should read over there.
Correct.
And then you press OK. And then it's on, and it's giving you a little reading down below as to what you've set. Is that correct?
That's correct. So I think that's the great thing is it really tells you all along. It's obviously doing a rapid preheat right now. It tells me the time, the temperature that we've set earlier, and then when the first burst of steam would hit the oven and when the second burst. So that's fantastic.
Right. And that took you, that was really fast actually, right?
It was, thanks to your help. So thank you for that.
No problem. Okay. So now we're going to wait for yours to bake, and then we'll come back to that afterwards.
Yeah, so I know that now you're going to share with us two additional things that I think would be great for parents to make for moms,
Right.
grandmothers, and work with the kids at
Yes.
home. So I think you're going to start off with the lemon cake.
Yes.
Again, we used a store-bought just
Yeah.
to also
Mix.
show that easily there's some great store-bought mixes out there that can be used. And
Exactly.
you're going to show us how to enhance it.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to actually put the cake mix into my mixer. I'm going to add 3 eggs. And always a note, just to be sure, always crack your eggs on a flat surface, not on the edge of your mixing bowl, because otherwise what ends up happening is that you may push shells into the mix itself, so you don't want that to happen. And then I'm adding 1 cup of water.
And Marilyn, for this one, did you just buy, it's a vanilla cake that you bought?
This is a lemon cake, actually.
A lemon cake, okay.
Yes. And a 1/2 cup of oil. And then
I like mine a lot more lemony,
yes,
citrusy.
that's what I do as well. And so I've actually put the zest of 1 lemon that I'm adding to this. So it doesn't say to add this, but I'm going to add that in there because I do want that lemony taste. And then we're just going to mix this. This will mix actually very fast in here as well, so I'm just watching to make sure that it's incorporated right in the bowl itself. So easy steps for the kids to do. Even cracking the eggs, have them crack it into another bowl before you actually put it into the mix itself.
Or otherwise you may have some extra crunch from shells inside your cake.
Exactly. So.
And you could easily mix this by hand.
Absolutely. So what I like to do after I mix it is that I usually like to take the spatula actually with it, and I'm going to just remove this. And just take this off the base. And I like to just go around the batter itself, just to make sure that everything's been incorporated inside and I don't see any flour that's in there.
And it's funny, Marilyn, with that additional lemon zest, I can smell the lemon, really.
Exactly. And then I'm taking a bundt pan here, and I've actually greased it. So I sprayed it inside, and I'm just going to pour this in. So far, regular cake mix that you've probably done as well at home. So.
And again, I think as we're all home, I think a lot of us haven't necessarily had the ability to go out to shop for mom.
Yeah.
I think any parent would appreciate a homemade gift.
Yes, absolutely. And then what I'm going to do actually is I'm actually going to go over to our
So I'm going to step away.
combi steam oven. Thank you, Kelly.
And Marilyn, I noticed you using a silicone bundt pan.
Right.
Does it matter?
No. I like using the metal one or the silicone. It really all depends what shape that I'm doing. So I like the shape of this bundt cake. So I'm actually just going to turn this on. And now remember what I said. I want to bake this, but I want to also add some steam that's in here. So I'm just going to actually go to the combination mode.
So combination being combination of convection heat,
Convection.
dry heat,
Yes.
as well as then steam.
Right.
In this case.
Exactly. And probably one of the most important things that I should say first before you're making a selection is always, unless you have a plumbed unit, you want to make sure that your water's in there. So I just noticed that this is a little bit low, which is fine. Just going to add some water in there. Otherwise, what it'll do is that it'll just signal that you need to fill the container up. So then I'm just going to close that again. So we're back to where we were. So convection bake. I'm going to set this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'm actually going to cook this for, have this cooking at about, it's a bundt pan. I put this on actually for about 28 minutes. And my moisture level, I'm going to bring it to 20. So when you look at the back of the box package for the cake mix, it normally will say if you're using muffin tins or if you're using 2 cake pans, what the time will be. So I know for my bundt is that I've calculated it to about 28 minutes, and then it turned out well. So
we have a quick question coming in from a viewer out there, Shelby. So Shelby from Toronto has a question is, with a box cake, do you just follow the same temperature instructions for the box cake? Or does this get modified because we're adding moisture to the process?
I actually left it at the temperature that was on the box cake itself at 350, and then I added the moisture level. So, and it turned out great at that time, so there was nothing to worry about. So it's just asking me now if I want to add another cooking stage. I really don't, because I just want it to bake. I want the moisture to go in. So I'm just going to say finish. And it's going to give me the summary as to what I've requested. So 350, 28 minutes, 20% for the moisture. And I want it to start now. So that's it. So Perfect. It's going to start once it comes to temp, and then we'll go on. So
Marilyn, now with accompanying your lemon cake,
yes,
even to add a little more lemon
yes.
flavor. I think you're going to show us a great trick on how to make a lemon curd.
Yes.
But using the microwave. That's
right, exactly. So we'll just come over here on this side. And once again, I'm going to just show you what we're doing here. So to make this lemon curd, what I add is here, I need is 1 cup of sugar, the lemon zest from 2 lemons. I need 4 ounces of butter that's cubed. I also, because my butter is unsalted, I also need to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, 3 whole eggs, and 2 egg yolks. So once again, I'm just going to start cracking my eggs. Normally when I have to add eggs into anything, I'm so used to cracking it into a separate bowl first, just to make sure as well that it's fine and that there are no shells in there. And then now I want to add, I just want to crack this egg, and I want to have 2 egg yolks, which is fine. This one is stubborn. Now, I know some of you that have actually made lemon curd on the cooktop. Sometimes you have to really watch that because it can turn and thicken very fast. So I'm just going to add all this to my lemon.
And Marilyn, on the cooktop making lemon curd, would you do that over a double boiler?
Yes, I would actually. So in this case, though, I'm not going to be doing that. So this is done.
So that's also easier.
Yes.
Especially if the kids want to help with the lemon curd.
Yeah, exactly. And before I add the sugar and the salt, I just usually like to break up my eggs, so I'm just whisking it a little bit. I'm going to add my 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. The zest of 2 lemons. Once again, you can really smell the lemon zest in here. And we seem to be on a lemon theme right now.
Absolutely.
And then I'm just going to add the sugar in here. Just going to mix it well so that it's really well incorporated in here. And now, this is the first stage. So the first stage is, we're just going to put this into the microwave for 45 seconds.
Perfect. And while you do that, Marilyn, so we have a question from Lori. So Lori asked, can you use any box cake?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and there are honestly, Lori, some great box cakes that are out there that you can get, but we used a very commonly accessible box cake that you could buy at any one of the grocery stores out there.
Yeah, I've made this where I've used a white cake mix, and then I put the lemon zest on the inside of that too,
Right.
which looks really nice, and then serve it with the lemon curd as well. So we're just kind of timing it down, and
So you're putting in that in there now for 45 seconds in the microwave.
Yes.
Any specific power setting, Marilyn, for the microwave?
on high. So, and it depends as well as what your wattage is on your microwave. For us, it's at 900 watts. Some other people at their home, customers could have a microwave that's 1100, 1200 watts. So that's where you have to watch. So I know that with 900, I can put this at 45 seconds, and then once you hear that, you open it up. It's not ready yet, so I'm just going to add my butter in there.
So all the butter goes in?
Yes, all the butter goes in. I like to do it after the, I can do it right at the beginning when I put that in if I wanted to, but sometimes I like to just do it once and then, so it's warm, and then the butter will actually start melting in here too.
And again, I love this alternative because, again, instead of doing the double boiler, and you have to constantly sit there and sometimes, if they're younger kids or children
Yes.
over the stove, this is another
Exactly.
way. A parent can help them put it in the microwave, take it out, and
Yes.
they can actually whisk.
And again, this will take approximately 5 to 7 minutes because of the wattage for the microwave. So that's what you'll know. But as we do this, I'm going to do it probably 2 more times. You're going to actually see that it's going to start getting thicker. And once it gets thicker, we want to just set it to the side to let it cool. And that way, while the cake is actually baking, it'll cool down, and then you can serve it with that. So
Okay. So actually, Marilyn, while we're waiting for that,
Yes.
I just want to actually welcome our viewers who are joining us through some of our key retail partners throughout Canada. Many of you are asking us, where's the best place and can we still buy Miele products during these times that we're in right now? You absolutely can. There are multiple ways to do this. And one is with our Miele chartered agents across the country and Miele dealers, as Marilyn's actually going ahead to do her
Yes.
next round.
Yes, that's right.
Again, you're just whisking.
I'm just whisking this just to blend it as well. Because remember, I added the butter that was in there.
Yep.
So now it's melted, and we'll do this one more time.
Okay. So again, you can go on miele.ca, use our agent locator, dealer locator to find the closest dealer near you. But again, I just want to welcome those viewers that have been invited by some of our retailers to join Miele Live. We are very glad to have you. Out in Vancouver, we have Trail Appliances, Baker Appliances, Avenue Appliances, Jerome Appliances, and Midland Appliances. In the east side of our country, we have Creative Appliances and Almar Appliances from Montreal. And in the GTA, we've got Tasco Appliances, Goldman Appliances, and Appliance Canada. So I want to welcome viewers from our retail partners. So welcome to the show.
So this is coming down to the 3rd time that we've put this in there.
And how many times are you going to do this?
You know, probably it may need one more time, but I'll check once I bring it out.
You can see as it gets thick.
Yes. And normally, I mean, if I'm at home, I'm not standing there just waiting for the microwave because I would hear it and I'm going about doing something totally different. I come back, we're whisking it again. And when we're whisking it, what it's doing is that it's preventing it from clumping together as well. So
again, a very similar process to a double boiler where
yes,
you're constantly sitting and stirring to make sure. Again,
exactly.
So Marilyn, maybe while we're doing that, I'm going to throw a question at you in regards to when we talked about Moisture Plus and steam.
Yes.
So one of our viewers has the question is it the same thing? So, you talked about in the case of the cake, we're using a combination of convection oven heat, dry heat, with steam.
Right.
When I did the galette, we're using Moisture Plus.
Right.
So is it the same thing, and can it be interchanged or replaced with one another?
It's not really the same thing. It's only because of the fact that when you place the galette, and as we talk, I'm going to kind of go in and out of the microwave.
Absolutely.
Don't mind. But when you're putting it into the oven, what ends up happening is that we're time controlling the burst of steam that's coming out. Oh, I just wanted to see. Can you see that? It's kind of thickening there.
Nicely.
So
maybe
one more, I think just one more time.
Okay.
And then we'll be good to go. So. And what you want to actually test on here is that just take a temperature, and the internal temperature should read at about 175 to 177, and that's really your indicator that you've cooked the egg yolks in there as well, and the eggs are done.
Okay.
So this will be it. When this one comes out, we're good. So sorry, back to our question. So you have more of a time control that you can program that's in the oven. With the steam, you could do something similar, but what you have to do it in stages. So you have to put a program in and say that you want, if you're thinking of two bursts of steam, you want one steam to come in maybe at a certain time, and then you'd go back in and program another one for the second one to come through.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but then the other question we often get is, does that mean now I can actually use my Moisture Plus as a steam oven?
No. Definitely you can't do that. Sorry, if we can see this here, how it's set. So you could not use that as a steam oven. It would not work the same way.
Well, just the amount of steam or moisture really coming in is
not,
Moisture Plus is not intended for that.
Exactly. So technically now this is done. My lemon curd is all done. I did it basically for, was it 4.5 rounds that I put this in. And as this cools, it will actually get much thicker. All right, and so I am going to let this cool right now, and then I'll go back to it and I'll whisk it again. Just, but when it's cool, what I like to do is actually put them into little jars like this one here. I just put them in a jar, and then I can put them in the fridge and use them for other desserts that I might have. I know at home my kids love lemon, so they would probably, if I had a cake or something, they'll spread it on there. It's really nice.
But even over a nice piece of toast.
Yes, toast as well.
With some, bit of ricotta.
Absolutely.
Would make a nice toast. So I know, Marilyn, you showed the jar there. I know next week we're going to be doing a whole session actually on how to use the steam oven for canning.
Yes.
So we'll talk more about that next week.
Right.
So as your lemon curd is now cooling, we thought we would share with our viewers a unique recipe, both in ingredients, but actually how we're going to actually cook this.
Exactly.
With this vegan meringue.
Yes. So normally with meringue, you're making it with egg whites. But another way of doing this, for those that are vegans that are out there, that you may want a special treat as well, is that I actually drain a can of chickpeas. Okay. So when I drain the can of chickpeas, what I will come out with is basically 1 cup of the liquid. So with the 1 cup of liquid, I might actually just put this back here. I measured out a 1/2 cup. So this is a 1/2 cup of liquid in here. And I'm just going to add it into.
So if somebody wanted
mixer?
to double the recipe,
Yes.
they could actually use the whole can of the chickpea
Absolutely.
water.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar.
Okay.
So
So really, at this point, it's really the same recipe as a standard meringue
Yes.
recipe. All we're doing is we're replacing the egg white with the chickpea water.
right. And so what I want to do here, what I want to do here is I want to create some soft peaks. So I'm going to keep whipping this until I can see that with the cream of tartar and the actual liquid, it's going to give me that little the whipping going on with the soft peaks. When that actually happens, I will then add 1 tablespoon of sugar intermittently into the actual the bowl itself.
Yep.
And then at the end, we are going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay.
So let me.
So again, I think what is amazing about this option is it is really the exact same process as a traditional meringue, except we're replacing the egg white with the water from a can of chickpeas.
Yes. Yes.
And it's the exact same process about that.
Right. And you won't taste the actual chickpea itself. Like, chickpeas has a strong taste when you open up the can. But once this is done and we incorporate the sugar into there, you wouldn't know a difference.
Yeah.
I tested it on a few people here actually to see if they knew, and they didn't realize that I had used the chickpea. So right now, I'm going to start adding the sugar.
Okay. So maybe just to explain a little bit why the chickpea water can replace egg white is really that chickpeas
Yes.
soaking in the water releases the protein from the chickpeas into the water, and that protein is a very similar composite to egg whites.
Yes.
So it actually serves exactly the purpose of egg whites, and that's why we can actually completely replace the egg whites in this recipe. with chickpea
Absolutely,
water.
yeah. And it's called flava, the juice in there, because of the way that it causes like a gel result on the bottom of the can. So I'm just going to keep adding this a little bit at a time. And I'll keep whipping it until I get those soft peaks, just like I would do a regular meringue.
So we do have a question from Natalie from Toronto. So Natalie has a question: is how much chickpea water is equivalent to 1 egg? So I think we know that on a weight basis, so Natalie, not necessarily on a per egg basis, but if you look at the weight of the recipe, a meringue recipe, it's actually a 1-for-1 replacement to egg whites. So depending on what the recipe is for the amount of egg whites from a weight perspective, you'd actually replace the exact same with the chickpea water. But again, you'll see the amount of servings that we do here. That's really half a can.
I'm not quite ready. I just want to check something here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm almost done. And what you want to do is not dump the whole bowl of sugar in there, because then that stiffens it a little bit. So incorporating it just 1 tablespoon at a time really helps. Like it aerates it in between the measurements that you're putting in there.
So Marilyn, while you're continuing to do
Yes.
this, let's take another question from, let's see, we have Betsy. So Betsy, thanks for joining us today. Betsy's a return viewer. I remember Betsy from our other sessions, Marilyn.
Yes.
Betsy says she's becoming more comfortable with her combi steam oven,
Oh, nice.
but still confused about preheating when baking and roasting. Could you review when preheating is necessary and when it isn't?
Okay, well, it really depends on, again, what you are programming into the oven. So if we are doing, let's just see, was this for baking or was this one for any time?
Let's see. When it comes to baking and roasting.
Oh, baking. So depending on the actual program that you're putting in there, it will either tell you put the food in, or if it doesn't signal that at all, then you would actually put that in right away, right from the beginning.
So Betsy, I think if you're using the MasterChef and automated programs that we have in the oven, it will really guide you, because part of our recipe development process for those automated programs, we take into account whether we need to guide you on telling you to preheat or not preheat the oven. That's in regards to using the automated programs. If you're not using the automated programs, then follow the normal recipe that you would use, whatever you're using. But again, if it's the automated programs, it will tell you when you need to. So there's really nothing to worry about. If it doesn't say that you need to preheat, then the food can go right in at the very beginning of the process. So again, that's in regards to using the automated programs or not. Hopefully that helps.
Okay. I think
I see your peeps.
I am already. So this is what you really want to see here is, that's like the soft bake. I could actually whip it just a couple more minutes more. Let me just see. No, this is fine. No, I'm going to whip it just a few minutes more, sorry. Because I like to, when I remove this and take it out, what I want to see is that...
You'd want to put it over my head and make sure that nothing actually falls on it.
Oh, okay. That'll give me an idea. This is almost done, actually. But while this is finishing, we're actually going to be putting this into a piping bag. And what I like to do is I like to put the piping bag over a container, like a pitcher like this, and then open it up. Let me just recheck this. Oh yeah. So a way to see this is that, as Kelly was saying, put this over his head, but you see how the peaks are here? And see how it's holding up like that? That's what you want to see, actually. You don't want it to be too loose. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to remove this. Just give it a stir. And then I'm going to actually place this inside of the piping bag. How are we doing on your side with your pastry?
Actually, your cake is coming along. I really smell the lemon zest and lemon scent. So adding just that easy bit of the lemon zest makes such a difference. So I can smell that. The galette's coming along very nicely. We are probably about 6 minutes away actually on both.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So as you can see, we actually made this in real time with you as well. And that's how quickly this can actually all come together.
Yes. So
that meringue looks amazing.
Yes. Now there's enough here, I know, that I can actually put this in 2 trays. I've got the universal tray in front of me here. And so now when piping, so see how easy that is when you put it into something tall?
Yep.
You can just lift it out.
Don't need 2 people.
Yeah. I like to bring it down. And I'm just strictly going to pipe this now into, I can either have it with the little peaks on top here. Oops, sorry. It's because I'm not pulling it off. And remember, depending on how you want it, I can make a nest actually. So if I want to put some fruits in there, I can actually make the disc a little bit wider. Or I can just do little small, tiny.
Almost like Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah, exactly. And also, for some of you at home, I'll just make that, is that if I wanted to not have the little peaks come up, all you have to do is just get a bowl with some water in it, and just dab it in there with your finger, and then it'll flatten it down.
Okay.
So what we're going to do here, Kelly, I'm going to actually have you put that into the warming drawer.
So we're going to use the gourmet warming drawer.
The gourmet warming drawer
to
right
actually cook this.
Yes. So when you place it inside the drawer itself, you're going to turn that on, and you're going to put it at the highest setting, so it's where the temperature.
So I also
bar
know
is.
that right now there are different options
Yes.
for me in the gourmet warming drawer. So we can use this as a cup warmer.
Yes.
There's a setting for a plate warmer, food warming,
Yes.
and actually now temperature control. So you want me to do temperature control
at the highest,
which it's already set at.
And then I want to set it for 2 hours.
2 hours. Oops. All right.
Okay,
Set for
so
2
then
hours.
we close the drawer now, and we don't open it at all. You're going to hear a beep when that time is up, because you'll probably think, oh, is it time? Is it time? Just leave it, and you will actually hear a beep when the time is up.
Right.
So,
And we know that the gourmet warming drawer, it's great for meringues because it's actually a low consistent temperature that you can actually leave in there and not worry about it.
Yes, exactly.
And really, it's more than really just a plate or food warming drawer.
True.
We're
That's
able
true.
to cook with it. So say I don't have, Marilyn, a gourmet warming drawer at home.
Yes.
Can I do this in a regular oven?
You can. What you would do in a regular oven, like for our ovens that we have, is a dehydration mode that's in here. So I would put it.
So do you maybe want to show the
Yes,
dehydration
sure.
mode?
So I'm just going to turn this on. I'm going to go into special modes, and it says dehydrate right here. And then I want to choose the highest temperatures, so 250. So it goes from 75 to 250. I'm going to say 250, and then press OK. And I would put this on again, same time, for 2 hours. And it says spread prepared dried food evenly across a rack baking tray or perforated tray. Or in my case, I put it into a solid. And then your pieces should be as similar as possible if you want to. And then it says place food in the oven, which I would do. On shelf level 2 is where it's telling you shelf level 2, you press OK. And then that's it. We're leaving it there again, and it's going to actually beep once it's completed. And I'll show you, because of timing, and I just know that...
So how long, for the gourmet warming drawer, we were doing it for 2 hours.
It's 2 hours.
And the dehydrate function would be how long?
2 hours as
2
well.
2 hours as well.
So both of them would be 2 hours.
Right.
But it's kind of interesting how they come out when you do. So what I did, because I did some earlier, as I told you, I tested with some people, is that when you actually make it into the, sorry, Kelly, I'm going to come over here for a second. When you actually make it into the warming drawer, they come out white. And when it's actually in the oven, it takes on a little bit of a brown, which is almost like it pulls that vanilla coloring that we had mixed in there, but it is a little bit darker.
But it's amazing how the warming drawer, it really kept its original color.
Yes,
completely.
exactly. And so light, like even when you're looking at the bottom of here, tapping it.
If you break that open, Marilyn?
Yeah. I don't know if I can break it gracefully or, oh, there you go. So it's that pillowy on the inside, and then hard on the outside.
So I know, I got to admit that I may have stolen a couple of bites as we were testing earlier, but you really would never know it was made with chickpea water.
Right. Well, our camera person, Jordan, I asked him to try one earlier, and just to see, didn't tell him what was in there, and he says, yeah, I love meringues, and when he was eating it, and I said, so it's made with egg whites, correct? And he's like, yes, and I said, well, actually, these were made with the juice of the chickpea. So, see, you don't know the difference on there, so.
And so how would you present this, Marilyn, as far as the meringue goes? For Mother's Day.
Yeah, for Mother's Day, actually, it's nice, depending on how many you want to just lay them in a row, add some fresh fruits. Again, because it's a vegan version, so I don't want to put any creams on there. Just having it with some fresh fruits is really nice. So I'm actually going to place this at our table for now. So that will be the start of this.
All right.
And then...
So I'm being beeped right now, so I'm going to pull the galettes.
So is it nice and brown in there,
It-
Kelly? I
it
just wanna
is,
make
actually.
Sure. Okay.
I had a little peek earlier
Okay.
because
Nice.
of my baking skills.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn this off now. Pull this out.
Oh, very nice. And you said you couldn't bake. Or no, not that you couldn't. You didn't like to bake. You prefer cooking instead.
I do, but
Yes.
thanks to your help, I think that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure the kids out there could do much better than I can, by all means. But so I know we need to let this rest.
Yes. And you notice how when it's been cooking, it actually has formed a little bit of a, what is that? Like a little
Film.
film over the fruits itself. So an easy substitution for that would be when it does come out, is that you take some of your preserved jam that you had,
right.
and actually, and again,
Just brush
loosen
it
it,
and-
yeah, in the microwave, and then brush it on. And then when it's cooled down completely, you may want to just put some powdered sugar on the top of that.
Yeah, so I know we had one that we had previously done because it does need to cool.
Right.
So to be honest with you, I'm going to be lazy about this. So
Yes.
I would probably do the trick of going ahead,
Yes.
because then you really can't see anything anymore.
Yeah. Right.
And that looks beautiful.
Yes, so that's a second dessert that actually can go on the table. But
Sure.
my cake is also complete. So
I'll let you take that back to that
yeah,
side, maybe,
let's redo
Marilyn.
that.
And I'm going to go put this down.
And if you wouldn't mind
Yep.
just closing my door for
I
me
will
there.
for sure.
Also, while this is being done, I actually, because this is cooling and it needs to cool completely before I actually invert it over. And so I made one earlier today. Thank you, Kelly.
No problem.
So this is the cake that, again, I made it in the bundt pan. So this is it here. So really, if I wanted to present this, oh, I think my knife may be on the other board at the, over on that side, Kelly. Sorry, can you see it on the cutting board? Yes. So I want to use actually a serrated knife. I just don't want to use a sharp knife on there. So a serrated knife would be better for that.
I'm going to leave this on the counter here for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kelly. And let's actually just serve up a piece of this as well so that we have this. So remember, there was 20% of moisture that I actually put in here. So I can still see that it's still nice and moist, and it cuts so easily. And then, like I said, this is still maybe a little bit too warm for me. So what I've actually done is I made this earlier and it's cooled. So I've just put it in a bowl because when we're putting it on the table,
Because some people may not want.
yeah, they may not
the
want
curd.
it. So I don't want to put it completely on there, but I may actually just put a dollop on the edge here. Cake itself. And then this would be really a nice serving as well for somebody that's having a dessert. But this would be our third dessert that's now going to be on to the table. So as you can see, we've done the mixed berry galette. I have the box cake that I've added the lemon zest and then made the lemon curd in the microwave. And then the vegan meringues, which definitely would encourage you to make those at home. Very nice, and I'm just serving that with some berries.
Great.
So
Thanks,
it's easy.
It seems like any one of those would make a great Mother's Day gift this weekend for, again, mom or grandma at home. So before we wrap up, thank you to all the viewers that have joined us today. One last question, Marilyn, maybe that we could take from Zoom 786 out there. Thanks for joining us. Can you make the galette in the combi steam oven? I don't think I have the option of adding steam at particular times in my oven.
Okay, so you can make it in the combi steam, and this is where I was mentioning at the beginning would be that you could program this at, sorry, did I have that at 375, Kelly, or for yours on the oven?
Yes.
So it would be 375 that I would go in, and then what we would do is choose the combi steam.
Sorry.
There is combination
mode, yep.
So I'm going to press the first one, convection bake.
Yep.
Just press set the duration, so the time that goes on there. So 375. And then
we did that for 30...
That was 38 minutes.
35 minutes?
35, sorry. 35 minutes.
Oops. Got it?
Yes.
And moisture
now I
level?
want to lower the moisture on here now, so I may just go in at about 15% moisture.
Okay.
Now, if you're choosing the moisture which is really low, that's fine because you can keep it at that temperature. It's not going to affect it.
Right.
But now at the end, what you might want to do is that you may want to brown it a little bit more. So then you're going to press OK, and it's going to say add another stage. So we're going to add on to the left.
Okay.
I'm still going to keep it at 375.
On convection bake?
Yeah, convection bake.
Okay. Set duration.
Yes, set duration. So that's again, it's asking you what temperature. So I'm just going to go in at about 375.
375, okay.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to say like for about 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes.
Okay. And then I would go zero moisture,
yeah, zero
right?
moisture.
So that's how you get around not having moisture plus in
exactly.
Right.
And sorry, and what I would probably do at the beginning, so when you press OK, what I would want to do is, because you'll notice that we've prolonged that timing.
Right.
So I can easily go in and I can say finish.
And I want to adjust the first stage.
So I want to change.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to go into the first one.
This one?
Yep. And press that. Yep. Press that. So there's a timing.
Right.
So my timing, I want to remove that. So if I did it for was it 4 minutes that we did the other one?
You said 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
So put it down to 30.
30. Yep.
And then that's it. So I'm going to leave it on to the convection. I'm going to just shorten that time down with the steam.
Actually, sorry, it was only 3 minutes. But
okay,
yes,
well, anyway, that would be
idea,
the point that you're just going to remove that so that at the end you just want convection bake that's on.
And so really the total cook time is the same.
It's still the same,
right?
But we're just not wanting any moisture near the end, and we just want to make sure that it's browning it as well.
Perfect.
And that's it.
Thanks, Marilyn. And hopefully for all of you, we've been able to answer most of the questions that you've had for us. So we want to, again, thank you for joining us, and hopefully you can take some of these ideas, experiment with them, and try them. And also, if you do try them, take a picture, post it on Facebook or Twitter and tag us, tag Miele, and we'd love to see what your creations have turned out like, and maybe what we've inspired you to do to celebrate Mother's Day.
Absolutely.
So that should be a lot of fun. In addition, for you that are watching with us today, we want to thank you for joining us, first of all. Secondly, Miele offers a wide range of care products and also accessories, whether it's extra steam trays for your steam oven, baking trays. But one of the accessories that we love to use here, because we do a lot of baking, is the gourmet baking stone. You can go look at it on miele.ca. It's great for baking homemade pizzas, also fun to do while everybody's at home. And so with the gourmet baking stone, for you that are watching us today, we want to give you a very special offer for an additional 10% off any existing offer that is there right now. You can visit miele.ca, and the promotional code you would use upon checkout is Miele Baking Stone, all in one word, Miele Baking Stone, upon checkout on miele.ca. So be sure to have a look at the gourmet baking stone. Thanks, Marilyn. We managed to bring one over here. It's a big one. Again, we want to thank you for that. So again, we want to thank you for joining us today. Want to share with you very lastly some of the new services that we're offering. We talked about those that are interested in buying Miele appliances right now through miele.ca or our retail network. Again, go to the dealer locator or retailer locator on miele.ca. Another exciting service that we're offering right now is our Miele virtual sales consultation. As we strongly still encourage everybody to remain safely at home, we nonetheless want to be able to continue to serve you, our customers. You can book an appointment via miele.live.ca, where you will actually be able to book a personalized one-on-one virtual sales consultation with one of our Miele product experts. What this allows you to do, you can either choose to have the consultation by phone, but actually now you can actually do a virtual consultation where through a two-way video conversation, you can actually interact with one of our Miele product experts, and they could actually be standing in front of the exact product that you are interested in. They can open the oven, they can open the dishwasher, and answer any specific questions you have. So that's an all-new service that we just launched last week. If you're interested in getting that personal experience without actually having to visit a store, if some stores are still open, this is a great alternative for you. So again, you can book an appointment on miele.live.ca. Very, very lastly, on miele.ca, as we all want to continue to celebrate Mother's Day this weekend and other things like anniversaries and birthdays, a great gift idea that we offer on miele.ca is the Miele e-gift card. You can get that, again, on miele.ca. Easy gift to share with friends and family. On behalf of Marilyn, myself, the entire Miele Canada team, we want to send a very, very big thank you to all the essential frontline workers that are out there servicing Canadians across all the communities, ensuring that grocery shelves are stocked, people that need medical attention are getting the medical attention that they need, public transportation for those that need to continue to get around safely. We really want to encourage everybody to remain safe. We want to thank you again, all those frontline essential workers that are out there, for your bravery during this challenging time. We hope you join us again. We have one final session this week at 5 o'clock today, and we're going to be talking about how you can make cleaning easy for you so you can use that time to spend with mom this weekend. We're going to talk about the Miele robotic vacuum, the RX2. So hopefully you'll join us then. If you don't, to all the mothers, grandmothers, have a great, great Mother's Day, and we hope to see you again on Miele Live next week. Thank you.